Hey and welcome back to the Warm Keyboard channel. This is a continuation of the video series where I am pretty much practicing talking unscripted and unedited for at least 10 minutes every day, uploading the audio over some gameplay and just trying to talk about a topic or a series of topics in some coherent manner, just to improve my speech really. Inspired by a video series that I'm going to link in the description. So what's today's topic? Well, as it's been a week now, I'm just going to talk about what I've learned already in this week, and it feels like it's been a lot, and I feel like I've come quite a long way already, and I'll explain why I think that. So I'll try and talk about 5 or so points, and we'll see where that gets me. So, well, I'll also say that again today, it's a Sunday that I'm recording this. I'm recording at home because I'm not allowed to go to work, but more on that later. So point number 1, what I found is that it's actually very easy to ramble about a load of innate nonsense for a long period of time. It's really quite not too difficult or quite simple to talk for 10 minutes about nothing really and constantly get sidetracked. And while that sounds like it's not a useful skill, I feel as though it's something that I was really afraid of, almost very nervous about when I first got started. I thought, how am I possibly going to be able to fill 2 or 3 minutes, let alone 10 minutes on anything? Like, I was worried I would just instantly fall over my words or just freeze or something along those lines. And that's how I tend to react, let's say, if I'm giving a large presentation in front of a big group of people or talking to someone and I'm nervous at the time, something along those lines. But when I'm just talking and talking to the camera, which is really quite helpful, it's not so bad, and almost 10 minutes isn't enough sometimes. But I mean, that's not necessarily a good thing, I suppose, if I'm just talking about irrelevant stuff when I'm trying to talk about a topic. But one thing I found, so this is like my first piece of advice in this video, is that talking your ideas out loud, it adds another dimension to thinking almost, in that, let's say I'm working on an idea in my mind for something, but I've either come to a conclusion or I'm stuck or something along those lines, and I talk it out in one of these videos, or I talk it out in a practice video or something along those lines. It almost feels as though I'm talking to somebody else, and I'm able to, add points to it and reason things that I wouldn't otherwise think of, let's say if I'm just dealing with the problem in my mind or typing it out or something. The act of speaking, I mean, this is probably something you learn like as a young child, but the act of speaking just makes it easier to develop these ideas. It adds another dimension. And I found that very useful already. I mean, whatever I get out of this 30-day challenge, just that alone is useful. Talking out your ideas. I believe in programming. There is a thing called duck programming, whereby you talk out your ideas to a rubber duck, and it might make sense in your head, or you might be stuck on something in your head, but as you are speaking it out loud, you might be like, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Or perhaps there's an obvious solution then as you are talking it out. But yeah, that's number 1. So number 2, and this is probably incredibly obvious for you all, and that is I talk way too fast. I'm talking probably too fast now, and I don't know why this is the case. Like, I understand that in some cases it's because perhaps you fear not being listened to or understood, or a combination of that and the fact that I consume all media at 2 times speed. Like, I've tried to consume it at a shorter speed, but like, it's tough. You basically have half the time then. Well, you can consume twice as much content in one period of time if you listen to it at 2 times speed. I know there's 4 times speed now on YouTube, but I think that's a dangerous path to go down, because I'll just get used to that and I'll be speaking at 4 times speed. I'm not sure how to bring the speed down. Recording and actually looking at the camera while I'm recording helps a lot, because I can see myself speaking, which is pretty helpful. But that's something that I'm really hoping to work on with this video series. So I need to listen back to all the videos and maybe start recording some supplementary ones. So I always like to record in the morning, but what if I record at lunchtime and in the evening as well, for more practice things, so practice ideas to slow down my speech. It's hard to monitor in real life as well when I'm talking to people. That's something I need to try and be aware of. Maybe I can get like a small recording device and just record myself all day every day and listen back to it, or run it through AI. So number 3, and that it's going to be about storytelling. And this is it's already out of order, these ideas. This should really have followed the rambling point, but it's easy to ramble, but it's difficult, I found, to tell a good story with a beginning, middle and end without some sort of notes or a script or something. I found if I'm just talking, I've got a general idea in my head at the start of what I want to say, how I want to structure things, but when you get started, it's, at least in my early days of this journey, it's very easy to forget immediately what your structured plan was. I kind of get everything out, but I think back after recording and I'm aware I've missed things, or let's say I've said things out of order, or I said the complete wrong thing on one particular aspect of the story, or I forgot to, let's say, give any advice or value to what I'm trying to say. So it's a bit scattered at the moment, but I am quite confident that this is a learned skill as well. So you can learn this, because, well, mainly because I was afraid that I'd even be able to talk at all. And look where I've come. I'm able to talk for 10 or so minutes without getting too nervous, and maybe I'm able to slow down my pronunciation and the way I present these things. So I'm confident that this is something that you can learn, and over time I will hopefully get better at it. At the moment I have no feedback, and there is no way I'm going to be letting my work colleagues or family know that I'm doing this, so they're not going to be any help. But maybe in the future I'll get some viewers who will actually let me know what to do, give me some pointers, or even AI. Actually, that's been the plan. So I'm never going to use AI to write scripts or anything along those lines. Like, what's the point then? Why not just have AI just make the whole channel? I'll be like, make a channel about whatever my topic is, make a daily video and post it, generate the voice as well. But like, what's the point then? I'm not doing this for anything like fame and all that. It's for me to learn and be able to find like-minded people, so like a target audience similar to me, so I can talk to them. Perhaps that's quite a selfish way of looking at it, but man, I think AI would be useful to at least give me some pointers, act as an impartial advisor to this. So point number 4 is how the location and the time affects my recording. So I really like recording in the morning. Right now I'm recording at, I think it's around 7 a.m. or something. I've just been to the gym and got back. And most weekdays I record at 7 a.m. just after either going to the gym or getting to work early, before everybody else. When you record in the morning, I found there isn't the time to just get nervous throughout the day. So yesterday, when I recorded episode 6, I think it was. Yeah, something like that. I was doing it in the evening, and I was just so nervous throughout the day, thinking, oh, what should I say? When should I get started? Something along those lines. When you get started, it's very easy to just get on with it, but it's just a build-up. It's like when you are at school, for example, when you were at school and had to give a presentation, and you were like the last person to be called or something. You spent the entire day or session like waiting and just getting nervous about it, and perhaps it affects your presentation skills in that respect. But yeah, I always just prefer doing it in the morning, and I'll always try and do that now. I think I'm not going to leave it to the evening. On Saturday, well, quick story. I live in a terraced house, so when I look at my house, both sides there's like another house stuck to it. So there's a house to the left of my house and a house to the right when you look at it face on. And every single room in my house shares at least one wall with a neighbour. So there's this irrational fear that they're listening to me and judging me. But I mean, they probably don't. Even if they were listening, I don't think they care. They're just getting on with their lives, you know. But there's this weird fear. And on one side, there's someone permanently living there. On the other side, there's someone renovating the property, so they're never there in the early morning or in the evening. So that's why I left it to the evening to record yesterday. But today I'm trying out the morning. I guess maybe they could randomly turn up soon and put their ear to the wall, but I mean, that's a bit of a strange fear. And it's something you need to get used to, I suppose, if I started streaming, for example. Like, I can't just stop talking when someone's there. Like, it's just how it is. I can hear them talking sometimes. I can't really hear what they're saying, but I'm kind of aware that they're talking. But it's fine, like, it's just part of living in a terrace house. And the final piece of advice or thing I've learned following on from the episode 6 is the gear. And that is that gear doesn't matter at all. As long as you have a smartphone and access to the internet, so an internet connection, that's all you need to get started with this. Like, you don't need to have any fancy microphones or cameras or anything. As long as you have access to those things, that's all you need to get started. And if I were to go back, I'd probably just get started, I suppose. I wouldn't worry about buying gear and such. It's just getting over the fact that you're putting yourself out there on the internet. You know, people can find out about you, find out things about you, people who you don't know, who you may never know, that sort of thing. But it's just getting over that fear, or having the confidence to get started. But yeah, that's everything for today then. Going into next week, I'm going to be going completely off script when it comes to the advice from the 30-day video challenge. Not advice, the suggested topics. I'm just going to talk about some things that I'm interested in, and hopefully that goes quite well. If not, well, it's always quite a bit easier to talk about things you're interested in. Maybe later on I'll talk about more challenging things that I'm not hugely interested in, but have something to say about. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.